Good to see you.
You've entered the parking lot for your destination. Arrived.
Go over there and let me see.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris, get you one, best friend. I'm give me one too.
NASCAR ticket insured.
Yeah.
Right at light, okay.
And that's probably the museum right over there.
Well, might be. Tours, gift shop.
It'll tell us over there. You looking at Princess.
Until somebody won the race. Now that was in 1934. And a guy named Bill France Sr., who heard about it and read about it in the newspaper and radio, decided he wanted to be part of the racing that was going on. And he lived up in Washington, D.C. and was a mechanic for his job. So he moved his family down here to Daytona Beach, started working for a Oldsmobile Cadillac dealership owned by a man named J. Saxton Lloyd. And they started racing together, and they raced together until 1939. In 1937, Bill finished 5th in the race out on the beach. And the car that won that race, he was also a mechanic on. 1939, when World War II happened, then all racing stopped. And then in 1945, the World War II was over and they resumed racing. But in 1946, they asked Bill if he wanted to become a promoter of racing. So he hung up his driver's suit and his helmet and gloves and decided he wanted to be a promoter. But he wasn't real happy with what was going on because there was a lot of cheating going on back then. So he got some owners, some drivers, and some sponsors together, and they met at the Streamline Hotel, which is still here today. It's located out on A1A and International Speedway Boulevard. Now they met on the top floor of that building, and they came up with 35 rules and regulations. Well, now they had rules and regulations, so then they had to decide a name because now they needed a formal name. So they called themselves the National Association of Stock Car Auto Racing, which we know today as NASCAR. And to this day, NASCAR is a family-owned business. Well, Bill had a bigger and a better idea to build a bigger and better and faster racetrack than what was out on the beach. But he wanted an oval racetrack, and he started looking for ground. It took him 7 years to find this particular ground we're on, called the Daytona International Speedway. And he found it for lease through the vote, and just enough to make it a 2.5 mile track. The reason they couldn't is because right here on your right, out in that parking lot, used to be a dog track. And behind the racetrack, which is still here today, was an airport. But that back then, in the 1950s, it was a military airport. And neither one of them wanted to move. So what Bill did is decide to bulge out the front part of the straightaway just enough to get it to a 2.5 mile track because he wanted a bigger track than what was out on the beach. And they did that, and they started construction in November of 1957, and they completed the track in February of 1959, just in time for their very first Daytona 500. And ever since the first one in 1959, every Daytona 500 is in the infield. That they managed to rebuild it without making any exceptions or missing any races. What we're entering is our 180-acre infield of the Daytona 500, or the Daytona International Speedway. Off to our right is the High Bank Speedway. Off to our left is Barrier, and that stands for Steel and Foam Energy Reduction. That way when the cars hit it, it's not if, but it's when they hit it, that wall gives a little bit and it bounces the car back off the wall, hopefully minimizing damage to the driver and the car. And the safer barrier does go all the way around the outside of the track, and it goes all the way around the inside of the track also. Those little gray boxes you're looking at off there to the right, those are 2,000 watt light bulb boxes. They have a 2,000 watt light bulb inside there that faces the back of the box. And the box is lined with mirrors. That way, when a driver is in an accident and stopped in front of one of those, he's not temporarily blinded by the 2,000 watt light bulb. Off to our left is part of the road course on the infield section of the track. Up in the grandstands, the reason the seats are multicolored, that is to create an optical illusion for television. That way, as the cameras are panning the cars 4.5 miles away, we've got a little This is just called the blue and white garages that everyone shares. NASCAR, for some reason, the Cup Car garages for NASCAR Cup Car, they don't share that garage. I'm not quite sure. But we're getting ready to go past here on the left side. In front of us, or the right side, is one of our 2 Sunoco fueling stations. And during the Daytona 500, you can purchase Sunoco racing fuel, but it will cost $12.60 a gallon. So if anybody feels they need some racing fuel, this is where to come and get it. Undo the chains and then bail off on the left side. Please don't get out onto the right side. Just please do the left side only. And we'll walk into Victory Lane. There is a fence straight ahead of us, or when we're in the chute area, there will be a fence up there underneath the green Rolex sign that if you want to walk up to it.
This is Daytona 500. Yep. This is my mom and dad there, and this is one most favorite, most favorite racers ever. Yep, this is Daytona 500. Yep, we're right here.
Lap count of the race. The building in front of us, that little yellow building with the Coca-Cola sign, that is the inspection room or the inspection building for the NASCAR Cup Series. The drivers call that the room of doom because they either pass or fail. And on the back side, when you're in the fan zone, when we were over there, there's garage, it's 4 or 5, 6 garage doors over there that are open, and the fans that are in the fan zone can watch the inspections of the cars. Plus, on the back side of this gray structure where they hang the television from, they also hang a TV back there that ends up